Okay. All right, does anybody got anything for Larry? Larry, delegation meeting went pretty good, you thought?
Mhm.
Okay.
I didn't run for the second meeting
No.
because of the standing room crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually went real well with the delegations.
Okay.
And I just, Connie this afternoon has gotten, because she's up in Tallahassee and she's got all our projects on the agenda for the session coming up.
Okay. Anybody got anything for Larry? Okay.
She said it's cold in Tallahassee.
How big it is?
They shut down. I couldn't even register a equation today because they all.
Yeah. I
And
got
tomorrow.
people from Brazil, Florida, which is one of the state offices up there, and they closed down today and they're not opening until next Wednesday.
My God, it's just a little
I
snow.
know.
They don't know how to drive in that snow.
Yeah. City Attorney, Mr. Ramoni.
So I had added on to the agenda the approval of the administrative law judge services contract. If you recall at the last meeting, I was instructed to not wait for Mr. Pringle and to go ahead and get this done. So what we have for approval is a contract. It's a one-year contract. Term, the rate is $207 per hour. The administrative law judge can appear by Zoom, so that should greatly reduce our expense. And if the county wants to jump in at some point, obviously we'll be able to work it together as I talked about, but I'm asking for approval of the contract so we can go ahead and get this in place.
I make a motion to.
Motion by Sean, seconded by Brad. Any discussion?
And scan it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The other,
Do you need a signature?
yes.
Okay.
The only other thing is that I went ahead and trademarked CAPFA now. So we've got in the marketplace CAPFA and then CAPFA with our logo. And because now that we're picking up momentum, I was wanting to make sure we had that covered at least. And talking with Angela earlier today, she's got, we have the assisted living in Orlando, Millennia, that's going. We have the charter school, and I think the Cape Coral, that's going. We have a new inquiry as far as water and wastewater in the Jacksonville Beach area, I believe. So we have some various projects, in different stages. And I talked to her. She's going to do two conferences. One is a student housing conference, I think in Austin, and the other one I can't remember, in Dallas. But as far as I'm concerned, she's been very, very productive. So unless you guys don't want her going to these conferences and doing some marketing at the conferences, I think it's well worth what she spends and what we reimburse her for. So I told her have at it, but I would run it by you guys just to make sure you're good with it. But she's been pretty productive at this point, and I think the more momentum we pick up, the better it's going to get. So that's it.
Has anybody got anything for Steve?
The only thing I can tell you is the Airbnb we talked about on Avenue R is pretty well advertised on Facebook, I guess it is.
So we're going to put that on the list to talk to the planner about, because that's another area where we don't have it addressed. Obviously, there's a lot of other jurisdictions or pro or con. But that's probably something that's more pressing that I would say let's take a look at.
Well, when they do the Airbnb, they do have to pay they're supposed to pay the tax, the tourism and development tax too, correct?
No idea.
If they're doing it through Airbnb, I think Airbnb does something, but I don't know what all they do. I
They'll
think
have
they
to-
have to pay some sort of taxes, but I don't think we
But
have
who's to
anything
say
set
that-
up.
who's to say they do it?
Yeah, and then we might be able to regulate it, obviously, to where you could do some form of taxation. Use the dirty word taxation, but from our perspective, it's obviously, it's got issues for us that could increase costs for us, but we'll add that to the list with Mr. Utley when we discuss these issues with him on Friday.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's good to look at, Mark.
I think it would, be
Yeah.
considered business also.
Yeah,
It is.
well, like for instance, the Cape, now I can't tell you if they were pro or con or they regulated or how they regulated, but I know they've recently had some large ordinance that addresses the Airbnb, so we'll start taking a look at that.
Okay, great. Thanks, Steve.
All right. Thank you, Steve. City clerk.
I don't have anything.
Ashley doesn't have anything. Anybody got anything for Ashley? Okay. Audits coming along?
Progress email before the meeting.
Okay.
In that letter, I want to ask you a question. You used a lot of "we." Who's the person
Letter.
in the email there?
Madison. Madison.
Oh, Madison, the girl that's been helping me from the auditors.
Are we paying her also?
Paying the audit firm, yes. I brought up in a meeting and it was approved to do so.
Yeah, I think I remember now. So there's two of you working on it then.
Mhm.
But you've got through the rough month.
Yes.
Is it
Yeah.
getting any easier now?
Yeah. A lot easier.
Okay.
We just did March and today only. So,
You did 1 month and today, just today?
Mhm.
So that gives you,
as long as we don't run into any more big stuff that's a little bit more difficult to find, and I'm hoping to have, hopefully by the end of the week, I would like to have them all done.
that's what we told in
That's what
that,
I'm trying.
in that letter, that's what we said.
We
that-
said we would try to have it complete by no later than January 31st, so we can turn it back over to the auditors to do their final workout.
Okay.
Yeah,
Think you won't
the
be
worst
there?
months I think are past us.
Leave a little slack in there just in case, because you want to go back again and
Well, we had a slowdown last week. Clarion had an issue that we couldn't access some of the reports, so I had to wait for them to fix them. So
So you,
otherwise, I probably would have got probably halfway further than what I am now.
Because you have to go through September 30th.
Mhm.
you feel comfortable we can have it done by the 31st?
I'm almost positive we can.
Okay. All right, anybody got anything for Ashley? Okay, Craig A. Smith's not here. Brad?
We installed the sprinklers, part both sides are done. So I started raining.
No, we don't need them at the moment.
Sorry, we did get the mulch order, with blue color with borders and all that stuff. That should be here by the end of the month. And we'll do that ourselves. So we just get it, put it to the time. So,
And that is something we approved to pay through CATFA.
Mm-hmm.
So just make
ball
sure.
field clean was delivered. They did start working on the fields down
Yes.
there. There's some more work. to
ARPA.
do.
Okay.
They have started. They'll have another pole or two set, the elementary, for the new elementary school. With some wire hanging there, and then we'll, do underground padding out transformers here. Which we contracted out to, LCS. But we'll start trimming on the John X coming, so we'll start with. After we trim the trees. Well, actually, no. The electric bill.
How's the sewer plant coming along? Okay.
I've talked to Al, there's 3 or 4 pumps sitting out there on the ground we pulled that were burnt. No good, been in there for 20, 30 years. They need to go be rebuilt, the lift station pump, we got it back working. We can stretch it out.
Mhm.
It needs to be rebuilt too, there's 2 of them in that lift station. It's already burned up, been burned up for I don't know how long. Very expensive, but it's, that place needs a lot of work. And Al talked about it, and he's almost felt like his hands have been tied, and nobody says they're going to spend enough money. That's kind of the shape that it's in, so we Band-Aid it here, Band-Aid it there.
I would disagree with that.
I don't, not getting in an argument with nobody.
No, I understand
You-
it,
you
that-
stand out
that-
there and that's it. You either spend it or have shit. Point blank.
Oh,
So how much money, I mean, well, that would be a,
You fix part of the electric in there, you plug something in, boom, it blows something down the line. So it's stuff it's old, you fix something new, something else tears up. It's not a point of you need to do it, it's you got to do
so this is something we need to
county.
bring
it.
to cap.
It's a necessity.
Put some money in.
well, then are we gonna put something on the agenda for next week to
We need to.
address?
We got a couple of things we need to address,
Uh,
but how much money, because there's nothing we can do tonight, but how much money are we looking at just for what you just said? 5,000 a pump?
Mhm.
They get the permeator pumps and the smaller pumps done for $5,000, that 34 pumps probably. I would say it's in.
What do we, make you up a list, Brad, of what we, not what we got to have, I mean, what basics to keep this thing going.
well, you know,
And we can go from
it
there.
all to me, like what we've said many times, it comes
The punch list.
like, yeah, here's the list, whether it's 5 items or 50 items that need to be looked at quarterly, annually, whatever. But we have engineers, but don't the engineers oversee even and say, oh, hey, this
Yeah.
pump's at 8 years, so we recommend. I don't
understand why, well, I don't understand why we're where we're at. That being said,
Yeah,
nobody, the engineers have looked at it.
They have just recently went out and did
They assess the whole plant.
The whole plant.
And gave a list
yeah.
of upgrades and things that need to be replaced that are outdated and just not compatible with what we have.
But still, it goes back to if they designed the plant and they have all the different apparatus, there's just like a big fall off after that to where, okay, here you go, here's your plant, with no feedback whatsoever to say, well, okay, you guys got to look at this, you look at that. And because, anytime Al's come to us to say, hey, there's this, he's never been denied money to fix it. It's always been, scrambling after the fact, and there's no connection between engineering and on the ground. And, and if we pay engineer, we have them under a continuing contract for the plant.
There's no engineering sliding a pump up and down the rails and make it work. It's just-
I understand, but give us like proactive, hey, here's what's coming, or here's what you need to do, because it's always by crisis.
Well, let's make up a punch list. That's a new word that actually taught me. And then we'll prioritize where we go. Monday with at the CCPWA meeting, but we can't put ourselves in this. I mean, you've got a board now that we're gonna spend the money. So I feel like I can't speak for you, the three of them, but I'm not gonna let the city go under like that either.
We're not asking things that doesn't
Exactly.
make it right.
No, we're not going and asking to rebuild the world. We're just are fixing what we got.
We're not gonna say Band-Aid it, let's do it right,
Yeah.
so it lasts.
But did it even say that there
But-
was capital money that we've put into that we haven't been paid back for?
It's still
have-
being paid back.
Okay, it's being over.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
We purchased about, I think the membranes was about $200,000.
And then the aeration
The
panel.
aeration panels is about $200,000, and then we did repairs on the Avenue H lift station, all that. Those were all loans from CAFA that we're paying back over a period of time. But that's not mentioned in that meeting before though, but we're getting to the point though, it's hard to, to CAFA to satisfy that too. We can't, And that's why, we follow up again about where's our rate study at? They're supposed to be working on a rate study because, obviously, we need,
More money to operate the plant.
Operate, but that's the way the interlocal agreement reads at this point in time, is that we're supposed to have sufficient revenues to cover all improvements and to set up a reserve. For,
Let me ask you, and I'm just asking, I don't know that you know or Brad knows, but with the new school coming, the possibility that detention center opens up, do we have the capacity? If we add any more to the city of Moorhaven,
The school, I don't think is gonna put any more load on it than what's there now. 3 going from the other.
right?
But if they open that facility back up there at the prison, that's, I don't know how many they can house, but
420.
400 and
Because
something
the,
ERCs we have.
the
in
schools
Florida.
increase the capacity, the ball field lift station, they're paying to do that upgrade, the school is. What they're waiting on now is, I guess, I talked to Greg and their engineer, they just need to sit down and have a pre-construction meeting with the school's contractor that's going to do the work. So, but they're going to upgrade the ball field lift station to the flow of the 500 flow versus that, so.
Because the other thing too, okay, that's a good point about the facility, because I think they are gonna crank, I mean, that's the plan, but we need to probably, a component of the rate is because we need a new developer new agreement, so to speak, with whoever's gonna be operating it. And that should probably be addressed in the rate study as well, because we're gonna need to, I think, up it there as well.
Well, and
Well, going back to, if they go back to what was in the original agreement, they have the infrastructure to handle what size meters are those, 6? They got all that there. The problem is gonna be, do we have the capacity at the plant to continue to
Exactly.
handle that?
exactly.
They've got I think they've got.
Yeah, they're set up, it's the plan, but again, and now if you're contributing
So
into the capacity capabilities of the plant, we need the engineering to come over and say, hey, here's your new rate study, here's what we need to do per ERC, whatever, and then we can negotiate something with them, but
Yeah,
And I mean, and you're also looking at this. If that opens back up, the school is up in there. If picking up sportsmen, you're adding possibly north of the bridge, north of the marina. There's plus we've approved to do west of wagon trail and all that.
The next priority up is Washington Park.
Yeah.
After.
so do we have money? We have money that we were asking for out of this DEP grant
Yes.
that they haven't determined who's getting what yet, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we have about $1.7 million for those repairs that they identified, or improvements. And then the 4 million or so for the expansion. So that we combine that number, yes.
Okay.
That we asked for.
So the total ask was 5.7.
Yeah, something like
That
that.
plant is capable of handling it, but the way it's running right now, no way.
With a 1.7, you feel like that's gonna bring us up to somewhere close to being fixable?
But I think the problem is that even with this grant funding, you're talking a year to 2 years down the road.
Right.
On a good point. Looking at it right now, there's, that's, there's needs right now versus.
Well, I want to piggyback off something that Steve said. I've been on here 6 years and we've never told the water plant no. Or the treatment plant no. They needed it. I think we've always, as far as I can remember, we've always said yes. So there's a lot of this we probably need to look at again.
Oh, it would just be nice to have, okay, here's the master list, so you guys have in your head in front of you, and here's what needs to be addressed time Because it's always by crisis and it's, oh, this and oh, that. So, but I put this on the engineering, we gotta know what the, is it 50 items? Is it 500 items? And, so you guys could at least address it, and be proactive with it
We'll
and not
basically
always
throw
by
it-
crisis.
Yeah,
And you have engineers under a continuing contract, I don't know why that's not happening, but I don't mean to be nitpicky, but it's like,
Like I said, they kind of did that study. They'll come out when you call them out, but like, again, they're gonna charge to come out.
well, I understand that and I expect that, but still they have to give us like a master, game plan to work with. So we know, and it's not always just piecemeal, and then you got 5 things going wrong and you got a, bigger crisis. And
no, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared to death. We're gonna have a Sunday, that damn thing goes down, and that's it. So that's my biggest fear, that I get that phone call. So, well, we got to do what we got to do to make it right. Monday, if we got to do Brad, I'm telling you, tell them what, don't sit there.
That's all I need to hear.
Get at it. Larry, you can go first and drive it home. And then me and Mark and Brad and Sean will kick in too.
Because the way I didn't bring the numbers out here, but over the years, I mean, as it started, the way the interlocal agreement was set up was that we were going to have to fund everything through revenue, but most of the accounts were the cities, and even in particular the sewer accounts. And still now, most of the accounts are the cities, but there is, once if we put Washington Park on that kind of thing, and do some of these other outlying areas that's not the city kind of thing, that's when, to me, like I said, we need to probably go back and renegotiate that interlocal agreement and say that, like, any item over anything like over $200,000 has to be a 50-50 share or something like that. Identify some threshold, because you can't always fund everything through rates, because you can't,
That's not fair to consumer.
come back, raise rates every time, that kind of thing. So we have to work out and get some kind of mechanism there that there is other ways to fund it other than rates. Because you can't fund the sewer system through rates.
Well,
what percentage do we put away for reserves just generally
In
on the sewer side?
CCPWA. I think there's probably about a 20% reserve in there. But like I said, this past year we closed out 23. We had a $75,000 operating loss. Most of that was probably what we give up to
Shortage, from GCDC.
GCDC kind of thing. So even though you have like a 20% reserve, that is, as far as cash flow, doesn't year round. You still have to have that, balance. But except you try to, been held about it.
You guys might even, I don't know how the county's gonna react to this, but to coach it on Monday, but you may need to do some sort of workshop and get the engineer in here and start like identifying some of these, crisis issues with the county, so they realize, because we hear about it, and we have a certain reaction, but then when it's the joint authority, it's like, okay, whatever, kind of thing. And
that's what I'm trying to tell Brad and Larry. Don't hold back. Tell them what our problem is and tell them we're fixing to ask
We'll
for
bring
it.
in that report that they just did, show what those deficiencies are, those improvements, and what the full of that.
And I would think the engineer would be very interested in presenting, hey, we have a situation, we need to address it because it's to their betterment as well, because they're going to be the ones on the engineering side to make their fee. That's, but unless you have everybody here, that's why I said, we even need to do it as a workshop,
They're gonna make the fee off doing the study, because thereafter, you're gonna implement.
True, but still, you know,
It's additional work for them. So.
we need feedback though from them. We don't get any feedback.
Like I said, that's, like, part of what they do is present that report at that meeting about, well, here's what was, they did study this, was what's been identified. They have some in there, they show. Well, I'll have to, again, look at this, what they
Do
would
we
do.
budget on the city side separately for sewer? It's all through.
Well, we know what we got to do Monday. Next,
That's all I got.
you got?
That's
I'm
plenty.
just curious, is the basketball court lights work?
Oh,
I broke the timer.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
usually not. Nobody's clean.
All right. I just thought I'd ask.
The nets are on the
Good deal.
metal or rope. The metal ones, they tore them up faster than the river.
It don't matter what you put down there, it's gonna be torn up.
Somebody's just itching to play.
All right, thank you, Brad. Approval of the bills in the amount of $40,743.28. Motion by Brad Smith to approve, seconded by Sean. Any discussion? All in favor? Actually pay the bills. Citizen comments. King, you want to say something, buddy? All right. Mayor and council to give report. Sean, you got anything?
I have a couple of things.
All right.
There's comments on social media about the corner of Fifth Street and Avenue F. I know code enforcement was already working on that. Is there any information about that property there?
The corner of Fifth and F, 398.
Yes.
It's been a code enforcement issue as long as I've been here.
Having it fine.
They go in, they fix a couple of things and then they make a mess of it again. So as soon as they,
Homestead property or not?
I think so. And I know right before Felicia left, we did a hearing on it. That's one of the ones, the Cunningham.
Okay.
We did a hearing on it and I think we were supposed to return back, but since we lost a code enforcement officer, I think it kind of did not make it all the way through. So it basically has to start back over because we had a gap in time frame.
But to answer your question, they would be a repeat violator.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it could be
So
addressed
that'll be
a little bit
Easier with this. other.
differently. But again, keep in mind, it's just a flaw, a flaw is not the right word, but it's a loophole, is that if it's homestead property, you could lien for a gazillion dollars, but you're not doing anything with that property because it's homestead property and you can't touch it. If it's not homestead property, yes.
I believe it is Homestead, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you can find out the property appraisers.
Yes.
Yeah, we went and then I think we did a second thing on it or we were in the process of it and then Felicia left.
Well, hopefully when we get a organization flow with the administrative law judge, that'll help.
I believe everything that Colleen's been citing them for, they end up cleaning up before the deadline and then they start it back over. So it restarts the cycle.
And also I emailed Ashley because I want to know what the clothing allotment was for. I saw a couple of council members receive an allotment for clothing, but I didn't know what that meant, but she explained it to me through email.
The council members? The council members haven't received any clothing allotment.
We don't.
It's just my suits, that's all.
The council don't, we don't get any clothing allotment.
It's
Yeah,
usually,
it's on that paper.
Put that into the sewer budget.
What did it say? Clothing allotment?
I don't know where you mean, Sean.
Yeah.
What did it say? Clothing allotment?
Yeah, that's for girls in the office.
Oh, okay.
We're not on uniform services,
Okay.
so we get allotment once a year to pay for
Oh, it's the
Like any
office
shirts.
staff.
Yes, ma'am.
Gotcha.
And like Larry gets one, Brad gets one, because we're not on uniform services.
Okay.
I was confused when you said council. I was like, I don't recall that.
No, we voted on it. I don't remember voting on clothing.
Gotcha.
That's what I didn't understand.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
All right. Anybody got anything for Sean? Okay, Mark,
So I got, talk about Airbnb, that's fine.
Brad? Anybody got anything for Mark? Yeah, on fifth row, you got anything for Mark? No. Go ahead, Brad.
The personnel policy handbook,
Mhm.
were you able to find one?
Yes, I have a copy of it. I've just been in the audit stuff. It's
Okay.
been my
well,
top.
And then the code book.
Yeah, the code book I still have to get updated. That's some time because I haven't had them returned from previous council
You're
members.
off to print what's on the internet because they update what's on the code of orders because they update, code updates that quicker than the hardback book.
Yeah,
The hardback book is probably a year or two old because they don't, it's a big old black book.
Oh, yeah.
and you have to go in and swap out all the
You know,
pages,
same
and
thing
then
that's on the
sometimes it
internet,
takes a
but
while for them to
There's
even
no way
send
it's
us the
gonna
updates.
update it. That is quick, so you better off just print it off the.
Yeah, as long as I have something.
Yeah, but
That's old school supplementing.
And now this,
Yeah,
it's not totally up to date. They update quicker than they do put out the pages to the main code.
actually, they just started where they're gonna be updating more often. So
They-
it should be very close to up to date very soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anything else?
I'll work on a hardback one, but you
Anybody got
can-
anything for
anything
Brad?
you have any questions before.
Okay.
Okay, I do have a few things. Stu Taylor got with me. I guess the Republican Party is having there's a young man over on the north side of town having a 100th birthday party.
Young man.
Yeah, and he was asking, could we do a proclamation or something? Because not many people live to 100 years old. He's a war veteran. How hard would it be for us to do something we could present?
Z City resident,
Yeah, yep, 6th and Avenue E.
you can always do a plaque, whatever, yeah.
Who's the person? This might be the one we talked about last year. Yeah, I think he's the one we talked about last year. And I think Alicia took him a arrangement over there or something.
So he's been 100 years old twice?
Well, I think he was turning 99 last year and they did something. I'll have to get with Alicia, but I believe she did some kind of arrangement for him last year.
Okay, well, I'd like to do it if we could, some kind of a proclamation or something to,
He's at down that corner, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And
I think I went to
did
that.
they say anything about shutting down 6th Street and Avenue F for a block party?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Is it shut down?
6th Street. The day of this party that they're having on January I guess 31st. We'll talk about it all later.
Okay.
But more or less, they were just gonna have a party and Dave Hart's gonna, everybody that knows about it except the city, so,
I haven't heard anything.
yeah. So that's why I'm asking. But I do wanna do the proclamation for the guy. I mean, 100 years old, war veteran, we can do something for him. And,
Y'all just let me know what you want to do.
yep, and then, I'm tired. I think that's enough for tonight, unless anybody's got something for me. So, I'm good. Discuss financial statements if needed. Y'all got anything? I'm sorry, I do want to go back. Council members and Larry and Brad, please, by all means, the most important thing in Ashley's day to day is this audit. It's got to be done. I want it done. And it's holding up some other issues and some possibilities for it. So Ashley, if you have to move in here and set up right there, I'll get that audit done. Let Melissa and Vicky run the office and Linda run the office and you come in here.
Well, I'm
That is your
I'm
priority.
working from home on Thursday, so hopefully I can get as much as possible done, as long as the Clarion has no hiccups again.
Okay. And I got one more. I do have something else. When Ashley or Larry or Brad, y'all take off, or not necessarily Brad, could y'all please email me so I'll know?
Or you should be email.
Yeah, but I just want to know in case I'm asked.
Okay.
That's, some of y'all have been lax on that. Help a brother out,
Okay.
okay? And discuss financial statement. Y'all don't want to do that?
Sure you don't have anything else?
I'm done. I'm tired. I'll go home.
Until he gets to adjournment. Hold on, I forgot something.
Go adjourn.
Motion by Mark,
Okay.
seconded by Sean. All in favor? All opposed? We're in adjournment.